Have you ever stopped to think that while you scroll through social media, you're trading your precious time for empty distractions? It may sound extreme, but hear me out. How is it possible that in the 21st century, technology, which was supposed to bring us together, is actually pulling us away from ourselves? If you've been feeling like you're constantly chasing something, more likes, more followers, more validation, without ever finding true satisfaction, you're not alone. The irony is, while life is happening out there, we're getting more and more trapped behind screens, missing out on what really matters. Have you ever taken a moment to think about how much time you really spend on social media? It seems harmless. A few minutes checking notifications, watching videos, or leaving comments. But those minutes add up, without you even noticing. Spending 4 hours a day online could mean losing 9 entire years over the span of 50 years. As the philosopher Seneca once said, "It's not that we have too little time, but that we waste so much of it." And wasting it on social media might be robbing you of real, meaningful experiences. The truth is, digital immersion has become so common that hardly anyone questions its impact anymore. These platforms are carefully designed to capture your attention, and without realizing it, you become a cog in the machine. It's worth noting how the term user tells us a lot. Think about it. The only other place we refer to people as users is when talking about drugs, which makes you reflect on how addictive and harmful excessive social media use can be. As Marshall McLuhan famously said, "We shape our tools, and then they shape us." How much are social networks shaping you without you even noticing? Besides time, what you're really losing are opportunities. Imagine if you took just a fraction of those hours spent on social media and used them for something productive. What if, instead of watching endless videos, you decided to learn a practical skill, like playing a musical instrument, or even dedicate yourself to reading transformative books, such as The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey? How different could your life be in a year? The time slipping away as you scroll could actually be traded for personal growth. In the end, it's not just about the time wasted, but about the life you're not living. As Henry David Thoreau once said, "The mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation." Social media, by constantly distracting us, keeps us trapped in that quiet desperation, always chasing something but never truly finding it. So how much more time are you willing to waste before you free yourself from this endless race? As sociologist Zygmunt Bauman said, "Social networks are like a trap that gives us the illusion of connection, but in reality pulls us away from genuine contact." This is especially noticeable during celebrations, which often become more about public display than intimate experience. It's common to see people posting about a birthday party rather than actually being present in the moment. When we post a video of a party or a photo of a toast, we lose the depth of the experience. What was once a face-to-face conversation, a real exchange of emotions, has now turned into likes and shallow comments. The need for social validation is replacing the joy of living these moments to their fullest. The same thing happens during moments of grief, which are now also shared on social media. Sometimes, before even close family members have been informed of a loss, it's already posted online, turning what should be a time of introspection and emotional support into a public display of condolences. Instead of offering comfort in person, people prefer to leave a comment on a post, as if that could replace physical presence. This leads us to ask, how many of our connections are truly authentic? We're trading real conversations for quick, shallow interactions. As social psychologist Charles Cooley once said, "I am not who I think I am. I am not who you think I am. I am who I think you think I am." This perfectly captures the effect of social media. We're shaping our image based on how we believe others see us. The constant need for likes and comments creates an illusion of recognition, but it's only a fleeting satisfaction. Each like is like a small hit of dopamine that quickly fades, leaving an emptiness behind. And so, the cycle begins again. More posts, more validation. But the problem is, the more we seek this external attention, the further we drift from genuine internal satisfaction. Social media, with its quick and superficial feedback, makes us believe that our self-worth must come from the outside, when in reality, it should come from within. The truth is, the more we become addicted to this cycle of external validation, the less we recognize what truly matters to us. One way to break free from this trap is to seek activities that genuinely nurture our self-esteem. Practicing gratitude, for instance, or dedicating time to hobbies that fulfill us internally without the need to display them. That feeling of fulfillment comes from who we are, not from what we show ourselves to be. And speaking of fulfillment, this brings us to the next point: how the pursuit of materialism is deeply tied to this race for validation. We live in an age where the desire for material goods seems endless. You might have just bought a new phone, but soon enough, a better, faster model with an upgraded camera will be released. And so, the cycle starts again. As the philosopher Schopenhauer said, "Wealth is like seawater. The more we drink, the thirstier we become." It's an endless pursuit that never truly resolves, because the desire to possess always drives us to want more. The dissatisfaction comes from the fact that when we place our happiness in something external, that pleasure is fleeting. Maybe you've traded in your car or bought that dream house, but soon enough, the satisfaction fades and a new need emerges. Consumer culture feeds this endless cycle of desire, leading us to believe we'll only be happy when we acquire the next big thing. But as Epicurus once said, the wealth necessary is that which frees us from poverty. The rest is vanity. It is possible to break free from this endless chase. One practical way to do this is by re-evaluating what we already have and focusing on what truly brings value to our lives. Instead of always searching for the next big thing, why not practice minimalism and learn to live with less? Valuing moments instead of objects can bring a more lasting sense of satisfaction. By letting go of materialism, we create space to appreciate what truly matters: relationships, time, and experiences that money can't buy. The truth is, the more we become addicted to this cycle of external validation, the less we recognize what truly matters. Breaking free from this trap requires us to seek activities that genuinely nurture our self-esteem. Practicing gratitude, for example, or dedicating time to hobbies that fulfill us internally, without the need to showcase them. True fulfillment comes from who we are, not from how we present ourselves. And speaking of fulfillment, this leads to the next point: how materialism is deeply intertwined with this race for validation. We live in an era where the craving for material goods seems endless. You may have just bought a new phone, but soon enough a faster, more advanced model will be released. And so, the cycle continues. As philosopher Schopenhauer put it, wealth is like seawater. The more we drink, the thirstier we become. It's an endless pursuit that never truly satisfies, because the desire for more keeps pushing us further. The dissatisfaction stems from the fact that when we place our happiness in external things, the pleasure is always short-lived. Maybe you've upgraded your car or bought that dream house, but soon the satisfaction fades and a new desire emerges. Consumer culture fuels this relentless cycle, making us believe we'll only be happy when we acquire the next big thing. Yet, as Epicurus once said, the wealth that is essential is the kind that frees us from poverty. Everything beyond that is vanity. But it's possible to escape this endless chase. One practical way is by reassessing what we already have and focusing on what truly adds value to our lives. Instead of always searching for the next big thing, why not embrace minimalism and learn to live with less? Valuing moments over possessions can bring a deeper, longer-lasting sense of fulfillment. By letting go of materialism, we make room to appreciate what truly matters: relationships, time, and experiences that money can't buy. In a world where technology is always within reach, being present has become a challenge. So often we see people outdoors or at social events more focused on capturing the moment with their phones than actually living it. As poet T.S. Eliot once said, "We had the experience, but missed the meaning." The quest to document everything disconnects us from the essence of the moment, leaving us with an emptiness, as if we're always looking at our lives from the outside. This disconnection isn't just limited to major events, but also to everyday life. Walks, family dinners, even vacations. These are turning into opportunities for posting rather than being lived fully. The simple act of being present, something so natural, has become rare when the priority is to share with the world. Practicing mindfulness can be a powerful solution. Stopping, breathing, and taking in the surroundings are ways to reconnect with the now. Of course, technology has its value, but it's important to know when to set it aside. Instead of spending an entire event taking photos and videos, try to be there, fully, body and soul. And if the urge to post comes up, ask yourself, is this really necessary? Sometimes, the simple act of disconnecting digitally can turn an ordinary experience into something extraordinary. This brings us to a deeper reflection. Are we all trapped in an endless race, constantly searching for something more? The rat race is a powerful metaphor for modern life. We're always running, chasing something, whether it's success, fame, or material goods, yet never really getting anywhere. As Albert Einstein once said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And that's exactly what happens in this race. People believe that if they work harder, buy more, or accumulate more achievements, happiness will follow. But ironically, the more they run, the further it seems. This endless pursuit of external achievements often makes us lose sight of what truly matters. The pressure to meet unrealistic standards of success leaves us exhausted and dissatisfied. And the worst part, this cycle has no end. Social media, by bombarding us with the accomplishments and perfect lives of others, only intensifies the feeling that we are never enough. This constant comparison keeps us trapped in the race, believing that we're falling behind. But it is possible to break free from this trap. The first step is recognizing that real success isn't about accumulating more. It's about finding balance. Life doesn't have to be a constant competition. Slowing down, living according to your own values, and appreciating the present are ways to escape the race. As writer Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Life is a journey, not a destination." And when you start seeing the journey this way, you realize there's no need to run so fast. Speaking of which, how can we use this understanding to do a digital detox? Disconnecting from social media may seem like a daunting task in a world so dependent on technology. However, a digital detox might be one of the best decisions you can make to regain control of your time and attention. Philosopher Henry David Thoreau, who isolated himself in nature for 2 years, once said, "Simplify, simplify." And that's the essence of a digital detox. Simplifying your relationship with the virtual world and making space for what truly matters in real life. A practical first step: try turning off notifications temporarily, and you'll notice an immediate difference in your focus and peace of mind. Another effective step is setting limits on your social media use. How about scheduling specific times to check your accounts instead of opening the app automatically every time you're bored? Many people who make this adjustment report a significant boost in productivity and a feeling of freedom. Instead of starting your day with your phone, try spending the first few minutes of the morning meditating or reading. Books like The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle can help you cultivate presence and live in the moment. Additionally, consider the possibility of deactivating your accounts for a longer period, even if it's just for a week. This time off can be an opportunity to reflect on the impact social media has on your life and to refocus on other areas. Spending more time with friends and family, taking walks in nature, or simply enjoying the silence can help fill the space once dedicated to the virtual world. Which begs the question, isn't it time we started valuing life offline more than life online? Now that you understand how social media is shaping your life and draining your time, the real question is, what are you going to do about it? Will you keep chasing likes and external validation, or will you take control and start living for yourself? If you truly want to make a difference in your daily life, maybe it's time to embrace that digital detox, be present in the moment, and prioritize what really matters. As the philosopher Seneca once said, if you don't know which port you're sailing to, no wind is favorable. So, where do you want to steer your life from here? But before you go, tell me, what's your biggest challenge when it comes to stepping away from social media? Sharing your experiences could be the first step toward breaking free. Leave a comment, and maybe together we can find solutions to these challenges. And if you want to keep learning how to improve your digital and personal life, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for future videos. Your journey toward a more mindful life starts now.